Speakers, wasn't it? Before we vote for our favourites, I think we're going to have to bring back our timekeeper to summarise the names. Thank
you. You're all bonkers and you're all well and truly within time. Lissy, talking about learning from mistakes, was 1 minute and 3 seconds, as was Celise, with the person at the top of the mountain climbed there, not landed there. Andy gave us love is a verb, a noun, and probably a preposition as well for 50 seconds. Neil, behind every successful man is a rather surprised mother-in-law, copped out completely and gave us a whole saga about frogs and LSD. Sabrina talked about, well, she decided to ignore the question, I think, and went on for misfortune cookies for 1 minute and 27 seconds. And then Seamus followed suit with the fortune cookie again at 1 minute and 13 seconds. Ivan stuck to the issue for 40 seconds with the greatest risk is not taking one. And Jess, who certainly knows about dreams, gave us 54 seconds of a dream you have all come true. Alex spoke about risk for 58 seconds. And Scott, well, am I confused? 1 minute and 18 seconds.
Thanks for the summary, Lynn. Let's have 30 seconds to vote for your favourite table topic speaker this morning.
Thanks. Sure.
Our next functionary said that he would advise his younger self to observe, listen, and learn. But of course, this is Tasria we're talking about, so he had to add the word voraciously right in front of him for a voracious evaluation of the 10 or so table topics. He's got a real challenge. I think he can do it. Please welcome Tasria.
Fellow Toastmasters and most welcome guests, I had set myself the challenge of doing this off the top of my head. I'm probably going to fail, but hey, what the heck. Try it anyway. So, starting off with our Lissy, who immediately started using her hand gestures to make a very powerful point. And she had the deftness of mind to call back to the linguist and say, in time. What I find quite interesting was the fact that she was talking about, I've never got something great. Maybe you can find something. So, giving us that inspirational message. One suggestion for Lissy, and it was the only thing I could find. It was simply that I felt that her voice wasn't as powerful as it has become of recent times. So I think, again, going back to looking at the voice and saying, yes, you can find something awesome in a fortune cookie. Our next speaker was Celise. Now, the thing that I absolutely love about Celise is the delight she shares. She gets up here, she smiles, she's really happy. Possibly the only person in the room happy to be up here with a table topic. And I really like the fact that she owned the topic about the top of the mountain. One suggestion was just the sheer pace at which the content came out. It takes a while to get to the top, so maybe pace it out to get to the top of your story. But really engaging, warm. I love being here. You should too. Really wonderfully enjoyed that. Our next speaker was Andy, who was talking about love. The idea of love. I like the way he used the lists. He had point one, noun, verb, and then love is all around us. One suggestion is perhaps give us a bit more detail, because it did feel like the list was just 3 words, and that was it. Maybe spend a bit more time at the end thinking, what does love really, really, really mean? Our next speaker was Neil. Now, Neil was surprised to learn that he had a mother-in-law, and he definitely used the most interesting phrase, a frog on LSD. Neil has a way, squirrels spouting Chaucer, frogs on LSD. I definitely agree. I wanted to hear more about the frogs on LSD. So take your time, share a bit more. You know you can, we know you can. So when you get up here again, absolutely give us more about the mother-in-law and the frog on LSD. Our next speaker was Sabrina. Now, Sabrina, at the beginning, there was a mischievous glitch. She took her time to get into it. We were talking about evil and misfortune. I like the way she detailed how they tried to make them. You could see that she'd really actually done this thing. So be careful of cookies from Sabrina. One suggestion, at the beginning it did feel like she was going and ah, and she got out of it at the end, but I think that's something that I have seen in the past, just maybe find a different way to pause, add a bit more sinister content, because if you wait, people will wait to hear what you're saying. Our next speaker was Ivan, who had the greatest risk. I really like the way Ivan planted himself here, and he really had a strong presence for me. One suggestion for Ivan, I did notice he was reading the floor for ideas. I don't know if anybody's left any on the floor, but maybe just simply look at someone, find a smiling person like Luke, look at him, and then find other smiling people. There are plenty here in the audience, and just maintain the eye contact. Our next speaker was Jess. Jess did a deft call back to dreams, and her voice matched the topic because it was very soothing and alluring, and I felt like falling asleep and having a wonderful dream. One suggestion for Jess, I think her hands were sort of all over, well, protecting her and moving around, just maybe put them by your side and share that wonderful soothing voice and content that you absolutely have for us. Moving on to our next speaker, Alex was throwing the giant dice for Jim Carrey. A very powerful presence. There was a very powerful voice out, and you absolutely were drawn into the story of Jim Carrey and his father. One suggestion, I felt the ending could have been a bit more powerful. You too can throw the dice. You too can find a way. Maybe instead of saying, you can do it, not because. I think finding a more powerful way to end, which would complement the really strong story, would be a useful thing. Moving on to Scott and the history of early bird speakers. Scott is absolutely brilliant. You can see his years of observing theatre and watching theatre clearly coming to play as he definitely described the evolution of sight from worms and to human beings being the backstory for early bird speakers. One thing, I did feel like his hands were floating, and there was a floating hand thing going on. I just wonder if maybe we should put him in handcuffs for the next time to simply get him to share with us his absolutely astonishing content and voice from a standing position. That's me done. Thank you.
Now, Taz has been a member of this club for 10 years. In fact, he's an evaluation champion at a national level. But notice how he's still challenging himself in those evaluations, practicing at the very edge of difficulty by doing a 10-person table topic evaluation without notes. Close enough. I'm pretty impressed by that. We're now going to move on to the prepared speeches section of the meeting.